Alright guys, so we are here for round number 13 of AOR season 14 here for the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Before this round I took the win at Belgium and that put me 4th in the championship standings, and we weren't too far off 3rd, which is Simo, so hopefully today if we can have a good result we can hopefully grab 3rd place in the championship. And I was hoping really in the remaining rounds of the season to just try and chip away the points gap to the cars in front in the championship and see where we can finish in the end. But I was running 4-2 wings or 2-4 wings for this race, and to be honest my confidence levels weren't too high around here because I've always felt not great around this track. I've always found it pretty difficult even since the days of like games like F1 2012 and 2011. I've always struggled around here, and in AOR so far in the reserves league I had a 4th, and in the F2 league I have had a 3rd, so it's not been amazing, but let's see what we can do today. My setup I felt was decent in the race. It was very stable, but I don't know whether it had the raw speed or not. I couldn't really try it out properly because when I did a race run I'd only do up to about lap 8 out of about 27, so I'd never really see what it was like on the tyres, and I hadn't done any soft running on the soft tyres before this race whatsoever, so I wasn't as prepared as I would have liked to be, just because I was pretty busy, and also I didn't really make the best use of the practice time I had by only doing the start of the race and mainly focusing on qualifying, because that is, even though I've improved it recently, I didn't feel like I was amazing qualifying around here, so I worked on that quite a bit. And you can see this lap here, so far 2/10 up. We're currently on P6 on the grid with a 20.4, but we should be able to go quicker than that. And my practice best time was a 19.8, but I was pretty sure I wasn't going to be able to get a time like that because I'd only done 19.8, and then my second best time was something like a 20.0, so I'd be lucky to get a low 20 like a 20.2 or 20.1, so let's see what we can do. 2/10 up nearly, and you can see we actually lost a bit of time there through the parabolica. We were pretty cautious in the second half of the lap, and let's see where we can go with this. Across the line we go P3 with that, and it's a 20.2, and I felt like I could go quicker, so we're going again, and let's see what we can do. So braking into turn 1 just after the 150 meter board. Could have taken a bit more speed through there. You can see on the delta we've lost about half a tenth and now nearly a tenth, so sticking as close to the right as possible around Curva Grande towards the second chicane, which is, yeah, you gain time by effectively who can take the curbs the best is effectively how you can gain time. But you can see there I've touched the grass and outbraked myself, and that's my lap over, so at best we're going to be in P4 and I'm going to retire from that, which is pretty frustrating. I felt like I could have gone quicker, but I felt like my setup was more for the race. And you can see we're only 2/10 off pole, but that is P9, and that just shows how close it is in this league. Only 14 people turning up today, which isn't great. And you can see just before the race start, yeah, Big C in front is facing sideways, which is, it must be so frustrating for him. It was a glitch from the game, so once again Codemasters are doing a fantastic job with the multiplayer on this game. But we have 5 red lights. Big C has pressed pause luckily, and we're going to go straight through him, so away we go. Not getting the best start because of that, but we're safe in P8 at the moment. Clarkey in front of us who's moved to the outside line, so we're going to try and get past him on the inside line into turn number 1. We've got Alex on our left who's kind of squeezed us a bit into the curb there. We had to be pretty cautious there, but it's P7, so we've gained, I'm going to say 1 position because Big C didn't really count because he was facing the wrong way, but we are now up into P7, and to be honest my aim from here was a podium. I felt like I could do it, but I didn't know what the best wing levels were, so I was running 2-4. I didn't know whether that was best, and we're going to have to wait and see whether we are able to overtake in a straight line with that particular wing level, because the slipstream in this game isn't that powerful, as many of you will know. But you can see the top 2 have got away already, and there seems to be a big train building up behind Ali K, the championship leader, in P3. Aresi I think was in the lead at this stage, and I'd done a bit of practice with him in the lobbies, and I felt like he was probably the man to beat today. He definitely had good pace, but I don't think we're going to be able to challenge him today. But getting up right behind Alex now in the slipstream, he's kind of lagging a bit, but that's just the way the game is. That's not his connection. We're going to dive up the inside into Parabolica, making a really nice move there up into P6, and yeah, that's the move done. So hopefully we can try and get the cars in front and hopefully be in a podium position as quickly as possible. But you can see Alex is trying to get us back here on to the start of lap 2, and 3 positions gained in 1 lap is really good, but Alex is going to try and go around the outside. We're going to squeeze him a bit there, and you can see heading into the second part of the chicane we've kind of been tagged there by Alex, and we've lost position to Clarkey, and that was one of the instance that I put in the stewards, and after seeing his point of view I have to say, yeah, it wasn't really his fault. It was more to do with desync, which seems to be quite a big problem on this game. But you can see the battle kicking off in front of Clarkey there. 3 cars almost going wide, 3 cars wide into Lesmo 1, but they're somehow getting through that, but they're all losing time to the cars in front. I think they've already got like a 4-second gap up to second place, so if we can, we're going to try and get past these guys, but they're always going to be really difficult to beat. You've got people like Ali K who's going to be trying to get as many points as possible because he's leading the championship, and obviously everyone else is also going to be trying to score as many points as possible and trying to get a podium. And you got Novo Tank back today. He hasn't been there since Canada or something like that, so yeah, he's finally come back, and we need as many people as possible now because quite a few people have left due to work commitments and things like that, and also the fact that they just hate multiplayer on this game because it isn't great in my opinion. But setting a 25.9 there, which is not a good lap at all. I was setting 23s in practice. That just shows the effect of the dirty air really getting held up a bit. You can see tapping the back of Clarkey there, getting as close as possible to him, and yeah, not able to make a move. And now moving on to lap 5, you can see Carex and Novo Tank have got past Ali K. That took them quite a while to do, but they've got past now, and we're unable to make any sort of progress. We've built up a bit of a gap to the cars behind. I think it's about a second gap to Alex, and then there's quite a big gap to a big train of cars in front, behind that, which include Simo and Synthetic, who are in 2nd and 3rd in the championship. So if we can gain a few more places, hopefully we can get promoted up to 3rd in the championship, but also we've got to try and beat people like RC Alonso, who's doing really well in this race. I think he was in 2nd or something like that at this stage. So yeah, it was either 2nd or 1st for RC Alonso, and he is currently 5th in the championship, so he may overtake us if the positions remain as they are. But you can see getting a warning there for exceeding track limits, and yeah, that was, I always found Ascari the most difficult corner not to extend track limits. But you can see moving on to lap 6, Clarkey is going around the outside of Ali K into the parabolica. It's going to be a brave move if he can pull it off, and he's unable to, and we're going to try and get involved with that. But it did seem to me like my wing levels were a bit too high, because you can see the way they've just pulled away down the straight, and that was making it so difficult for me to overtake. I was really having to do it on the brakes if I was going to overtake, because yeah, I was unable to in the straight. I didn't have the straight line speed, or the slipstream wasn't powerful enough. But you can see trying to get past Ali K now, and Clarkey's managed to make his way through, so hopefully we can as well if possible. But Ali K's back in the slipstream of Clarkey, and he's going to try and get him back towards the 2nd chicane, but I think making a bit of contact there, those two. Ali's lagging a bit, so I wasn't really sure of his position on the track, so yeah, that's always going to make it harder for me to overtake. He goes a bit defensive into Lesmo there, and yeah, we're just struggling to make our way through at the moment, and we're going to be probably pitting either this lap or the next lap, depending on what the cars around me do, because I wanted to try and get an undercut onto the soft tyres. Done very minimal practice on the soft tyres, as I've said already, so I don't know what my pace was like on those tyres, but you can see I've done it again. I've exceeded the track limits in the entry into Ascari, and yeah, we've got to be careful now not to try and get a penalty. But you can see getting right close to the back of Ali K now, who really didn't have much pace. I think he struggled to find time to practice, but you can see we're going to go into the pits now, and Ali K stays out, Clarkey goes in as well, and being as late as possible there onto pit lane speed limiter to try and gain as much time as possible, and hopefully we can have a good stop as well. So into the pit box, and away we go now. That was a good stop, so just need to have a good outlap, and hopefully we can try and jump some people. But you can see, yeah, Clarkey coming out the pits there forced my car to go on the brakes. That wasn't me in control, of course, that was the game doing that, so lost a bit of time from that. And you can see RC Alonso's going down the straight. He's gone past us now, and hopefully Alex won't do as well, but he has. And in hindsight, I probably should have been a bit later on the brakes there into turn 1 to try and stay in front, but yeah, I was a bit too cautious on the soft tyres there, like fresh tyres. Wasn't really aggressive enough. I felt like I could have probably stayed in front if I'd braked a bit later there, but yeah, we can't do anything now, so we're stuck behind Alex now, and hopefully we're going to try and get past him in the next few laps, but he managed to jump us there with the undercut, so that also shows that the undercut does work around here, and hopefully we're able to jump a couple of people when they pit, such as Ali K. But you can see in the DRS now, and you can see the way Alex has just pulled away from us there, which really did show that I think my wing levels were a bit too high for this particular track. It felt good in the corners, but it didn't feel quick enough in the straight, and I personally don't feel like I had the pace on this track in general really. But let's see what we can do. It's going to be damage limitation here today, and you can see just how late we are on the brakes there into Parabolica. I felt like I had a lot of confidence with the brakes that I was running. I think it was 82, 54 on my settings and for the setup, so yeah, it was working really well for me. And you can see Ali K's coming out the pits now, and hopefully we can remain in front of him, braking at the 100 metre board, trying to stay in front, going around the outside there, but we're getting pushed a bit there from him, and there's quite a bit of contact there in the first chicane, and that was pretty aggressive from him there, but yeah, it wasn't out of the rules, I don't think. So yeah, we've lost the position there. We kind of got shoved a bit wide there, but not great again. So we've effectively lost 2 positions to Alex and Ali K by not being aggressive enough into turn 1 on the brakes. So you can see getting as close as possible to the back of Ali K now. Moving on to later on into lap 10, we're going to try and go around the outside of Parabolica. That's going to be a brave move if we can pull it off, but I don't think I turned in early enough there, and that was always going to be a tough move to make, especially when you've got DRS immediately after. But we don't seem to have it for some reason. I think Ali's got it, so we should have stayed behind him there. And you can see his car's lagging all over the place, so I didn't actually know his position, and I was kind of moving from left to right to try and make some kind of move, even though I didn't know where his car was when it's lagging all over the place. But still, it's P10 for us, not able to make a move at the moment, and we're kind of losing time to the cars in front here as we're about to end lap 11. So going into Rich now, and hopefully we can try and make a move this time. We got DRS this time, so I'm going to try it. DRS open in the slipstream, we're closing onto the back of Ali K. We're going to go to the outside line into turn number 1, and braking once again pretty late, trying to go around the outside, and we've been, I wouldn't say pushed off there, because I had a look at that a couple of times after the race, and I think I did turn in a bit early, which caused contact and probably caused him to understeer a bit into me. So yeah, I didn't take him to the stewards or anything for that, but see, we got a 3-second time penalty by doing exactly the same thing at Ascari again, because I was driving like an absolute retard. I don't know why I was through that corner, but yeah, we're gonna have to put up with that now. We're in P10 with a 3-second time penalty, so yeah, it's going to be pretty tough to progress from here unless anything happens. And you can see Ali's got past Alex in front, so hopefully we can get the 2 cars in front, because I felt like I had better pace than them, and we'll also be beating the people in front of us in the championship, like Simo, Synthetic and Ali of course. And the only problem was RC Alonso at this stage was in, I think, 2nd still, so we'd probably lose a position to him in the championship. So we've got to try our best to get past these guys and hopefully catch the group in front if we can, and setting a personal best first sector there. Not taking the 2nd chicane as well as I probably would have liked there, but yeah, it wasn't ideal circumstances to be stuck behind Alex right now, struggling to get past due to my straight line speed. So we're going to have to try it on the brakes into turn number 1, going up the inside. Pretty good move there, and into turn, well, the second part of the chicane we've been pretty much shoved there. And once again, I think it was desync was the main issue there, because after reviewing his footage, because I did take him to the stewards for that and the first incident, and also a couple of incidents coming up, and yeah, I've seen his footage, and you can see going into turn number 1 now, same sort of thing again. What it looks like on my screen is it looks like he's kind of moved under braking, and what you see on my screen is quite a bit different to what you see on his screen, which yeah, it's not great from Codemasters to have this sort of thing in multiplayer. But you can see we're now in P9, because I think it was, I think Simo's still yet to pit, so we're effectively in P8 actually, so we can actually try and get top 6 today. And I think someone else pitted, so we're now up into P9. But you can hear now on the radio that I'm getting a message saying my DRS is stuck open, that I'll have to pit for repairs, which made me panic quite a bit into turn number 1. But Alex and Ali K have made contact, and we've managed to get past Ali K now into P8, and my DRS is now shut, so that was really weird. I've never had that before in a league race. But in the slipstream now, heading towards the second chicane, you can see trying to go past Alex now. I realise that's my best opportunity so far to get through, and you can see he's made a bit of a mistake there in the second chicane. Can we possibly get up the inside into Lesmo 1? We're going to go up the inside into the corner, and making a bit of contact there. That was a bit close, a bit of a half-hearted overtake from myself, which was never really going to work. So yeah, we're going to have to stick behind them for the moment. Lap 21 out of 27, so slowly we're running out of laps. And it was actually expected to rain at the end of the race, which was, yeah, going to be interesting considering we're all on dry tyres, and I don't think it's going to get to a stage of it all being on wet tyres. But you can see 4 cars have collided in turn number 1, and I couldn't believe my luck at that stage, because you can see I'm now up into P4 with a chance at the podium, remembering that we still have the penalty as well, so we've got to try and get a 3-second gap to Alex. But we now suddenly are in a really good position, and RC Alonso was involved in that. I think Carex and Nervo Tank and Simo as well were all involved in that collision, and that has now given us an opportunity of a podium out of nowhere. I couldn't believe that, and I'm very lucky for that. But we still got to make our way past Alex if possible, and you can see once again into the entry of Ascari. How many times am I going to do that? That's our 4th warning, and yeah, pretty stupid driving there from myself. But closing on Alex slowly, that did show to me that my straight line speed wasn't too bad, because I was closing on him pretty quickly there. But starting to set some pretty good lap times. You can see my personal best is a 23.0, which is a pretty good time. I had no idea what the tyre wear was going to be like due to the lack of practice, but you see closing up to the back of Alex now, trying to go up the inside there, almost using all our fuel as well, because we've only got plus 0.02 laps left of fuel, so we've got to save that towards the end of the race, and also try and get past Alex, which will mean we'll probably have to go into Rich down the straight. But you can see getting very close to the back of Alex there, thinking about going down the inside into Ascari, but that was going to be too much of a risky move. And you can see closing up right onto the back of him now. We're going to go to the inside here, but he covers us off there and covers us off again, and that was 2 moves in the straight line, which yeah, that was the main reason why I took him to the stewards, to be honest, after looking at the other instance. But we've gone past that Parabolica, and he's now got the inside line back again down the straight, side by side, and I think he had DRS, which meant he's got superior straight line speed. And it's now started to rain as well, and Alex has got back down the inside, and yeah, that's pretty frustrating for us, because I knew he's not the greatest in the wet, so he's going to struggle in these remaining few laps, and I wanted to try and build up that 3-second gap due to my penalty to try and get the podium today. But I'm going to possibly try and get past him into the second chicane. We're pulling away from the cars behind, but I still wanted to, I felt like I had much better pace than this, where I could try and get that podium, which I really wanted, to be honest, at Monza, after the luck we've had, and also the fact that I took the win at Belgium. It would be nice to back it up with a podium and hopefully try and get myself in contention for the championship, because I'm only something like 46 points off before this race, so it's not fully over for me yet. And you can see slowly it's getting wetter and wetter here, and we're going to stay on board from here to the end. And Alex has actually pulled away a bit there out of Lesmo too, but I also need to concentrate on getting a gap behind to Ali K of over 3 seconds. You can see at the moment it's 2.7, so we need another 3/10 here in the remaining lap and a bit. As losing the car there out of Ascari, and we're going to head on to the last lap soon. And I was thinking I had to go for something on the last lap and try something for this podium, but you can see Alex has gone wide there into Parabolica, and we're going to go through and take advantage of that. I don't know whether he had a penalty or not at this stage, so we've got to make sure we stay in front and try and get as much of a gap as possible here on the last lap. So side by side down the straight we go, Still side by side, heading towards turn number 1. We've got to be pretty late on the brakes here. Into turn 1, locking up a bit there, but managing to hold on to the position, sliding a bit as well. But that is P number 3 for us, with Aresi in front. Carrick's was leading somehow after where he qualified, which was quite far down, but I think he had some sort of penalty which would promote Aresi up into first place. But you can see now I'm just going to push as hard as possible, trying to build up a 3-second gap in the lap if I could. You can see it's already half a second, so if we can try our best. I didn't think it was going to happen, but we've got to try something here to get the 3-second gap, unless he has a penalty as well. But we'll have to wait and see. And I was just thinking to myself here, be as cautious as possible, but also try and hit every apex and try and get that gap up to Alex here in the final remaining corners. Heading to Ascari. What's the gap now? It's now 1.1, so pulling away 7/10 there, I think, in one sector, which is really good pace. I felt like my wing levels as well were probably better for these conditions than they were in the dry, which was a bit of a mistake from myself. But heading into Parabolica, Carrick takes the win, but it was actually Aresi because he had a penalty, so Aresi takes the win today for the first time this season. But heading towards the line, we're going to cross the line in P3. It's going to be a great result, but are we going to lose it? Yes, we are, unfortunately. So we're in P4, but I hope you guys have enjoyed. There is a steward's inquiry with Alex, so we'll see what the outcome is of that. But I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you very soon for Singapore. So goodbye.